So now we'll do the array queue. The array queue, again, it's just a linked. It's a built-in implementation of the array queue, not the linked queue. The array queue. We'll also be doing a link queue. So we'll implement QADT, I believe. Do I have that here? We do, so it should work. So we'll just create a, if you haven't seen that video, if it hasn't been uploaded, I'll upload it. It should be uploaded by the time I upload this one though. So we'll just create a new class. We'll call it array queue. .java. We'll use generics again, so public class of generic type T, capital T. Public class array queue of generic type T implements QADT of generic type T. We'll import two things as well. Import java.util array list. Actually, yeah, so array list. Import java.util iterator. We'll be using an iterator. So here we'll create an object reference variable. So array list of generic type T, array queue. Again, this isn't the best implementation because we're using an array list to create a queue, so it's not really, like I said before, it's like using a car to create a boat. It can be done, it's possible, but it's not logical, right? Like you'll have to remove the engine and that stuff. So after that, so that's our, well actually no, yeah, so we have that one field and then we'll create a constructor. Public array queue. We'll say array queue points to new array list of generic type T. So array queue, it's really in the back end, it's really just an array list. So here we'll have the void on queue method, takes a T element. So we'll call array queue.add and we'll pass in element. That's it. Then here we'll have the public TDQ operation, no parameters, throws empty collection exception. So if it is empty, oops. If it is empty, which we haven't written, so we'll write that right now. Where is it? So public boolean is empty. Return array queue dot size is less than or equal to 0. So returns true if array queue dot size is less than or equal to 0. Might as well do the size method quickly while we're here. So public int size, return array queue dot size. So public TDQ if is empty. Where was I? Then we'll throw new empty collection exception, array q as a string. Again, we can return null and just print out that it's empty. That's optional. Then here we'll just return array q dot remove index 0. Because we're adding so remember a queue, it adds from the I should have done a diagram for this, but there should be a diagram somewhere. I don't know if I've done it yet, but let's just say we have our queue here, and here these are the indexes, and so we add from the rear to the front, but for the first element at least. It's up to you how you want to think of it. Usually, technically, you add from the rear to the front. So if we're adding 1, we add from the rear here. This is the rear, right? And this is the front, or the head and the tail. So we add -1, it goes through here, through here, through here, through here, through here, goes to 1. Now it's at the front. Then if we want to add 2, goes through here, through here, and then goes to from the rear. So now we're adding from the rear to the front, so it's added to the rear, but technically it goes like this. That's the way I depict it. Sometimes it'll be depicted the other way around, so it'll go like from this side to the rear would be on this, they'd be switched, right? That's the way I think about it. So when we dequeue, we're dequeuing index 0, and it's going to get shifted over. When 1 gets dequeued, then 2 will get moved to, excuse me, index 0, or yeah, like that. So that's how it works. Hopefully I'll do a diagram, because there's a lot of stuff to do in this series, but I have the videos ready. I have like tons of videos, I just haven't uploaded it. So try to start uploading them. So after that, we'll do the first. I think that's it. Dequeue, just return array q.remove. Also, the reason why it takes long is because like Windows, I don't know why it takes a little bit of a long time to like compile the videos. Like I'm not a pro YouTuber or anything, but it takes long. Like to process it, it could take like half an hour. If it's a long video, like 2 hours. And to add 3 parts to it, it's even longer. So anyways, we'll just do the next method, public t first. It throws empty collection exception, empty emp t collection exception. So if is empty, we'll throw again new empty collection exception. What is this again? Linked queue, no, array queue. I spelled something wrong. Throw new empty collect. Should have a C in it. Okay, that's done. And then, so you can put an else if you want, since there's only 2 options, but you don't need to. You can return null and just print out that it's empty also, other than this, as we did before. But this way should get you full marks if you're doing it on a test, so, or in a assignment, unless you're asked to throw null or return null. So here we'll just return array q dot get index 0 dot get index 0, just like above, except we're not removing index 0, we're getting index 0. That should be it. Size we're done, is empty, we're done. First we have, you can also do a rear if you want. Usually you just don't need to do that unless it's a deck, a double-ended queue, which we will, I think I've already done that. If I haven't uploaded it yet, I will. So here we'll override, at override, public string to string. So here we'll say string str equals empty quotes. We'll do the same thing. We'll create an iterator of type t itr, or iter. I like iter. Set to array q dot iterator, points to array q dot iterator, so there's a built-in iterator for our array list. So in the back end it's just calling that. With the debugger you might be able to see that. Maybe we can do one example of printing it out at the end. So here we'll say while itr dot has next, we'll say str points to str plus iter dot next element plus a space. So the way the book that I read explained it, I think it said that itr has next just means that the iterator has a token, is holding a token or has a token in its iteration, and then next passes the actual token to the iteration, or from the iteration, and then when it iterates back it goes to the next token with that token -1, something like that. Here we're just concatenating, and then we have to return return our string to satisfy the return type. That should be it. So we'll do the last one. I'll have to bring it up here again, sorry. Hopefully the video doesn't stop. So we did array q, and we'll do linked queue. I'll copy all this to my other screen, paste it, and we will take that out. Okay, so that's fine, and then here we'll create a new class. We'll call it linked queue. Actually, we already have a linked queue, I think. So we'll do bi again for built-in. Or you can name it whatever you want, doesn't really matter. Linked queue bi for built-in .java. So here we'll have our public class linked queue bi of generic type t implements qadt of generic type t. We'll implement our iterator and linked list. We'll be using a linked list again. So import java dot util linked list, and then we'll import java dot util dot iterator. That should be good, and then now we'll create our object reference variable of type linked list here. Linked list, so we'll say linked queue. We'll call it linked queue. We'll create our constructor public linked queue bi. we'll set linked queue equal to new linked list of type T with parentheses. Type T and no object in there. If we were instantiated, we'd put some kind of object, but we're keeping it as type T. It's good to practice with generics as well because they use those in like C as well, I think. In other languages, generics are common. So after that, we'll do the onQueue method. So public void onQueue takes T element. So linked queue, we'll call linked queue, our object linked queue, which is really an array list. Dot add element. It's a simple assignment. It's not too. This one wasn't too hard. It's one of the easier ones. You just kind of have to think what method you're going to use for another implementation. So if you are doing this, just have a look at the Oracle docs, linked list and array list, and just search for your methods that you want to use. They're also on the internet if you just search for it. Like there should be a lot of built-in implementations for a linked queue using built-in implementations. But it's not that hard. So here we're going to throw. We should throw our exception. So throws empty collection exception again. And we'll do our is empty. Public boolean is empty. Return linked queue dot size. Return linked queue dot size is less than or equal to 0. So dq. Might as well do we'll do it after. It's okay. So we'll do dq if is empty. We'll throw new empty collection exception, linked queue as a string. Then otherwise we'll return linked queue dot remove first. That should be it. We'll do a public T first method. We should throw it again. Throw empty collection exception if is empty. Oh yeah, so feel free to I'll try to get back to you guys if anyone asks for help, but if you do need help, I'll remember to put my Facebook on there, because I don't have a Discord. I usually just check my Facebook quite often, so just you can send me a message there if you need help or if you want to talk about codes or whatever. If you just want to connect, feel free to send me a request or whatever. I should get back to it. I'll try to link my trading view as well if you want to talk about codes for finance stuff. So if is empty. What's happening with that? We will throw new empty collection exception. And we'll pass in linked queue. as a string again, and there's a typo there. So we'll check if it's empty, we'll throw the exception, and then if it's not empty, we'll return linked queue. Return linked queue dot remove first. Return linked queue dot get first. Did I say remove first? Sorry, it should be get first. Public T first. Return linked queue dot get first. I think that's right. And DQ should be removed first. That should be it. First. Actually, no, we didn't do size. So public int size. Return linked queue dot size. That should be good. It should work. We'll instantiate one. So I did have I had one person ask me how I could create a stock scanner for the Australian Stock Exchange, and he wanted to see which ones had the RSI 14 over some number, and I told him it was pretty easy, but he was having trouble with it. It's pretty easy. You just needed two conditions: if the RSI was greater than 14 and the DMX or the DXI or something, some other indicator was greater than a certain number. He just wanted to see it, so just show. It was pretty easy, but I guess if you don't know code, I guess it can be hard. It's kind of like a ghetto code to me. Like, you could just do that on a website pretty easy. Like they have those, people make those kind of things like scanners and stuff. They're easy. I guess they're good starting projects. But anyways, we have that. So link queue BI, link queue built in. So link queue, we have our array queue, link stack, and array stack. So we'll implement one with the iterator. So we'll create an array queue here, just to show an example. So array queue of type integer, we'll call it queue, points to a new array queue of type integer. Should be no parameters, I think. Yeah, no parameters. We could have added one with an element. That's okay. So then we'll say queue dot array queue. Do we do that? Okay, array queue dot enqueue. So we'll add something, and queue we'll just add like 5. And then queue dot enqueue 6. Then queue dot enqueue 11. Then we'll just print it out. It should access our toString queue. Then we'll set a breakpoint here, and then we'll save and run it. Actually, we'll save and debug it. We could have checked if it ran first, because there may be a error somewhere. We'll just stop that, and then we'll just hit play first, or run, to just see. So it did printed left to right, so so when you add them, it's going to add 5 first, then 6, then 11. Then when we DQ, it's going to take the 5 out, then 6 and 11 should be printed. We can just show you. DQ. So you should see 5 remove. Run it again. Then 6 and 11, because it removes from the front. In a one-sided queue. Then if we remove again, it'll remove 6, and if we remove again, it'll remove 11. So we'll take that out. We'll debug that to see if we can iterate through our iterator. Hopefully it won't go in. Okay, yeah, so it did go into there. So we have our array Q5, 6, 11 right here, size 3. Might have some hash stuff in there. No, just value. That it? Okay, so then we have our string variable. We'll step over it, or step in, doesn't matter. Here we have it, there it is, string str equals to 0. Empty quotes. Then we'll have our iterator. Iter points to array q.iterator. We'll try to step into it. It may bring us somewhere. Okay, no, it won't bring us somewhere. So we have iter points to array q iterator. Has some kind of data. You can see the mod count. We've used that in our implementations of other collections. So it's going to throw a concurrent modification if the mod counts from the iterator and the mod count from the actual data structure are not equal or something. So we'll do that definition later. So we just have our while iter, which is this iterator object. So these are the fields that it has. One of the Java developers has coded that. So he said while iter.hasNext, so while iter has an element. So this, it has stuff here, 5, 6, 11. So we'll step in, because it does have something. We'll say str equals str plus iter.next. I think it's going to return 5. Where's str? See, it has 5 now. And if it has next, then we'll step in str points to str plus iter.next. So iter, well, now it doesn't show it unfortunately, but now we'll just say that it's gonna have 6. So iter.next is 6. No, sorry, iter.hasNext is yeah. So iter.next is 6, so it should print out 6. So you see str has 5 and 6, and then it's gonna take 11 now. So hasNext, it does hasNext, it has 11. So then iter will be equal to 11 on this iteration here. So iter.next is 11. So it'll be added to str. And then it's going to return it. So that's it. Easy. So I hope that helps. And if you need to test these ones, it should be the same thing. So I'll see you guys next time and take care.